Hi everyone, this is Kannababu. Today I am preparing the FAQs on OOPS because many freshers or experienced people, when you face the interview, you are struggling a lot because many people don't know how to present the answer. That is the main reason. Just for the interview point of view, when interviewer will ask you the question, how you have to present the answer. In that aspect, I am preparing this video. So this is the part one of Java FAQs. In this video, I am discussing about OOPS. So the first frequently asked question in interview is explain the principles of OOPS. Actually, in OOPS, there are four principles are there: abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. So what is encapsulation? It is a process of binding or wrapping or grouping of related variables and methods in a single container. That concept is called encapsulation. We can achieve encapsulation by using class. So what is class? Class is a user-defined reference type data type which consists of variables and methods. What is class? Class is a user-defined data type which consists of variables and methods. Syntax to create a class name. Inside the class, you can create variables, methods, and constructors. Just an interview point of view, you have to question to answer. That's it. Because in OOPS, everyone is good in OOPS, in coding or other stuff. But when you present the answer, the meaning will change. So your answer must be sweet and short. So what is object? Object is instance of class. Instance means allocating sufficient memory space for instance variables. So whenever we create object, then memory will be allocated for instance variables. Next important question. Difference between constructor and method. So constructor name and class name both must be same. Method name and class name must not be same. Constructor does not have return type. Method must have return type. Constructor is used to initialize the object. So if you want to initialize the values for instance variables, then we have to use constructor. Method is used to perform a specific task or operation. Constructor will get invoked when we create object for a class. So whenever we create an object for a class, then automatically constructor will get invoked and it will initialize the values for instance variables. Method will get invoked when we call it. That is about your constructor and method. So different types of constructors are there, like default constructor, parameterized constructor, and copy constructor. And this default constructor is again of two types: system-defined default constructor and user-defined default constructor. If the programmer has not declared any constructor, compiler will declare default constructor and it will initialize default values for instance variables. For 0 int, for int it will initialize 0, for string it will initialize null, for double float 0.0, for char single space. If the programmer has manually declared the constructor and initialized the user-defined values, then that constructor is called as user-defined default constructor. Creating a constructor with parameters is called as parameterized constructor. At the time of creating the constructor, we have to declare the parameters. At the time of creating the object, we have to pass the values. Copying one object data into another object data, that is called as copy constructor. So what is inheritance? Inheritance is a mechanism of establishing parent-child relationship between the classes, or it is a mechanism of creating a derived class by using base class. So how to establish inheritance means we can establish inheritance by using extends keywords in Java. One more point I'm telling, the main purpose of creating this video is just to how to present the answer before the interviewer. So I'm not going to any programming or in-depth knowledge in OOPS. If you want individual videos, again I will create some separate videos for programming point of view. Thank you. So inheritance, that is inheritance. Different types of inheritance are single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, hybrid inheritance. 5 types of inheritance is available. So what is single level inheritance? Creating a derived class by using single base class. Single parent, single child. That is single level inheritance. What is multi-level inheritance? Creating a derived class by using another derived class. That is called multi-level inheritance. Grandfather, father, and son. What is hierarchical inheritance? Creating multiple derived classes by using single base class. That is hierarchical inheritance. What is multiple inheritance? Very powerful question interview. Creating a derived class by using multiple interfaces is called as multiple inheritance. That's it. Creating a derived class by using multiple interfaces. That is multiple inheritance. So what is the diamond problem in Java? Actually, Java does not support multiple inheritance by using classes. Why it will not support means, so in olden days, for example, if same method exists in the multiple base classes, because of inheritance, these two methods are available in derived class. With the derived class reference, when you invoke that show method, an ambiguity problem will occur. That which show method will get executed. To avoid this ambiguity problem, Java does not support multiple inheritance by using classes. So we can achieve multiple inheritance by using interfaces. So that's what you can do here. You can create both the base class as interface and the implemented class. Class C is implemented class, which is implementing both A and B. That is multiple inheritance. The most powerful interview question is, what is polymorphism? Polymorphism came from two Greek words, poly and morphos. Poly means many and morphos means forms. So simply polymorphism means anything that exists in multiple forms is called as polymorphism. In Java, we can achieve polymorphism in two ways. One is overloading, other one is overriding. So what is overloading? It is a process of defining multiple methods with same method name and with different parameters. That concept is called as overloading. The best example for overloading, you can give system.out.println. So println is a method. That method parameters will be different. In interview point of view, you can tell this is the best example for overloading. So if you're not passing any value, it will throw the cursor to the next line. If you pass a integer value, it will print the integer value. If you pass a string value, so there are lot of overloaded println methods are there. Even the interviewer will not ask you about the real-time example. You can tell him the best example for overloading is system.out.println. So what is overriding? It is a process of defining multiple methods with same method heading and different method body in base class and derived class. Or it is a process of re-implementing the base class method in derived class, or modifying the base class method logic in the derived class. That is called overriding. Already in base class, one method is there. That method logic we are modifying in the derived class. So mostly interviewer will expect, can you tell me some best example for overloading, overriding actually? Yeah, you can tell, lot of examples are there. So mostly I think you already familiar with exception handling mechanism. In exception handling mechanism, you have one superclass for all the exceptions is exception. Exception is a superclass. Before above that you have throwable also will be there, but I don't want to go up to there. And here you have one more class called arithmetic exception. Here you have arithmetic exception extends exception class, and similarly you have a lot of other uh, derived classes are there. These all are subclasses. Similarly here you have something like some SQL exception extends exception class. Like lot of derived classes are there. So actually, if your exception class, if you observe clearly, here you have one method is there. Something like print stack trace. Print stack trace is a method that is available in superclass, and the same method body is modified in derived classes. The same method body. So whenever an exception will occur, then JVM will create an object for that particular exception class, and JVM will throw the object to the catch block. Mostly when you write this try block, place the code inside the try block, and whenever an exception will occur, JVM will create an object for the exception class, and JVM will throw the object to the catch block, and catch block will handle the exception. So here we don't know that which object is creating, because depending on the user input, the exception will occur. If the user will give divide by 0, denominator 0, then the arithmetic exception will occur. Similar input type mismatch exception, class not found exception, SQL exception. So whenever an exception will occur, JVM will create object for the corresponding exception class. That corresponding exception class is derived class, and JVM will throw the object to the catch block. Catch block will print this method. In that scenario, overridden method will get executed. This print stack trace is a overridden methods. So inheritance is mandatory whenever you want to apply overriding, and same method heading and different method body in base class and derived class, and method logic will change in the derived class, so that you can divert the interviewer questions from overriding to exception handling mechanism. Definitely he will impress. I hope you understood. In another video, I will give clear picture about exception handling mechanism. So finally, overriding means this is the definition. Very, very important interview question is what is interface? So you have to clearly by heart the points and you have to clearly express your answer to the interviewer. What is an interface? Interface is a contract or an agreement between itself and its implemented class. That is, whenever you declare an interface, it means that we are providing some set of specifications, and that specifications must implement in the implemented class. Another point you can tell, if in simple words, if you want to define an interface, you can tell interface is a type. Type means data type, which consists of public abstract methods. Interface methods must implement in implemented class. By using interface, we can achieve multiple inheritance. That is the main important point. When interviewer will ask you about interface, you have to talk about multiple inheritance. By using interface, we can achieve multiple inheritance, and by using interface, we can achieve loosely coupling. And you can clearly explain about functional interface also. When interviewer will ask you about interface, you can tell in Java 8 features we have one interface called functional interface. That functional interface is called a single abstract method interface. Means the interface consists of only one abstract method. The implementation of that particular abstract method is a lambda expression, and we'll directly assign the lambda expression to the functional interface reference, so that interviewer will impress. Actually he is asking about interface, but you're talking about interface, multiple inheritance, loosely coupling, and we can achieve dependency injection also by using interfaces in Spring Boot. And extra you're telling about Java 8 feature about functional interface. Really, it will impress an interviewer a lot. Then definitely when he asks about functional interface in depth, you can explain that one. That anyway I'll create a separate video for Java 8 features. The main agenda of this video is how to present the answer very fastly before the interviewer. Next question he will ask you about what is abstract class. Abstract class must declare with abstract keyword. Abstract class consists of abstract methods and non-abstract methods. Abstract method is unimplemented method. Method without body is called as abstract method. The implementation of the method we have to write in the derived class. So simply you can tell abstract method must override and implement in the derived class. Abstract class is unimplemented class. Abstract method must implement in derived class. We cannot create object for abstract class or interface, but we can create reference. With interface reference, we can access the implemented methods in the implemented class. Sometimes in interview they'll ask what is the difference between abstract class and interface. Main difference is abstract class does not support multiple inheritance. Interface supports multiple inheritance. Abstract class consists of both abstract method and non-abstract method. Interface consists of only abstract method. But since in Java it features, interface supports default methods and static methods also. That I will clearly explain in the separate session. Abstract class can have final and non-final, static and non-static variable. Interface has only static and final variables. The abstract keyword is used to declare an abstract class. Interface keyword is used to declare an interface. An abstract class can extend another Java class and implement multiple Java interfaces, whereas an interface can extend another Java interface only. Interface to interface relation is extends. Interface to class relation is implements. An abstract class can be extended using extends keyword. An interface can be implemented by using implements keyword. A Java abstract class can have members like private, protected, and etc. But by default, interface members are public and default. Public by default. Sorry. So this is the example. I create one class with name shape. In that class, I create one abstract method. Public abstract keywords are mandatory. But when you create an interface, inside the interface also you have abstract method, but no need to mention public abstract, because by default the interface members are public and abstract. For more videos, catch me later in the next session. Thank you. For more videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.